Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Unlocking Power BI, the secret of paginated report parameters. Introduction. Paginated reports in Power BI are designed to display data in a format that is optimized for printing or PDF generation. They allow users to create highly formatted, pixel-perfect reports. A key feature of these reports is the ability to use parameters, which enables users to filter data dynamically based on their input. In this tutorial, we will explore how to create and use parameters in Power BI paginated reports, including both the setup in Power BI Report Builder and how to utilize those parameters effectively in your report. Prerequisites. Power BI Report Builder installed on your machine. Access to a Power BI report server or Power BI service where you can publish paginated reports. Basic understanding of SQL and data sources. Step 1. Setting up your data source. Before you can create parameters, you need a data source. For this example, we'll assume you have a SQL Server database with a table called sales that contains the following fields: order ID, customer name, order date, total amount. Connecting to the data source. 1. Open Power BI Report Builder. 2. Click on File New Report. 3. Choose Table or Matrix Wizard. 4. Select SQL Server as your data source. 5. Provide the server name and database name. 6. Test the connection and click OK. Step 2. Creating a dataset. 1. In the Report Data pane, right-click on Datasets and select Add Dataset. 2. Choose to create a new dataset and select a data source. 3. Use the following SQL query to retrieve data. SQL. Select order ID, customer name, order date, total amount. From sales. Where order date between at start date and at end date. Here, we are using two parameters, at start date and at end date, which we will define in the next step. Step 3, adding parameters. 1. In the Report Data pane, right-click on Parameters and select Add Parameter. 2. Create the Start Date parameter. Name, Start Date. Data type, Date/time. Prompt, select Start Date. Default values, choose a default value or set it through an expression. 3. Repeat the above steps to create the end date parameter. Name, end date. Data type, Date/time. Prompt, select end date. Default values, choose a default value or set it through an expression. Step 4, utilizing parameters in the dataset. With the parameters created, the SQL query in your dataset will use these parameters to filter the data based on the user's input. The query should already include at start date and at end date, so there's no additional configuration needed. Step 5, designing the report. 1. Drag and drop a table from the toolbox onto the report design surface. 2. Select the dataset you created as the data source for the table. 3. Add the fields, example order ID, customer name, order date, total amount, to the table columns. 4. Format the table as needed, adjusting column widths, styles, etc. Step 6, previewing the report. 1. Click on the Run tab in the ribbon. 2. You will see prompts for the parameters you created. 3. Enter values for the start date and end date, and click View Report. Step 7, deploying the report. Once you are satisfied with your report, 1. Click on File Save As, and save the report to your local machine. 2. To publish it, click on File Publish and provide the URL to your Power BI report server. Example code. The following example illustrates the SQL query that retrieves data based on the parameters. SQL. Select order ID, customer name, order date, total amount. From sales, where order date between at start date and at end date. Example of setting default parameters. If you want to set default parameters dynamically, you can use expressions. For example, to set the default start date to the first day of the current month. Default values, expression. SQL equals date serial, year, today, month, today, 1. And for end date, set it to today's date. Default values, expression. SQL equals today. Conclusion. In this tutorial, you learned how to create and use parameters in Power BI paginated reports. Parameters enhance the interactivity and usability of your reports, allowing users to filter and customize their data view. By following these steps, you can unlock the potential of paginated reports and provide more insightful analytics to your users. Happy reporting!